swarming.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Keyphob's Kitchen. Today I'm taking part in the Britannia Bake Off and I'm going to be attempting butterfly fairy cakes according to the recipe. However, we're calling them Pegasus cakes. Then, just to add a variation, we're going to deep fry them.
Nationality? The most Scottish?
Because who doesn't like beige?
Hey guys, Metaphor. You'll probably know me as stalls lead at UK PonyCon. First time doing Bake Off, kind of exciting. We'll see how this turns out. Today, our brief was a festive bake, so I've decided to celebrate my new home of Scotland by making Dundee cake today. Started, I suppose.
Hi, I'm Bexi and festive. Today I'm going to be cooking apple crumble.
Crumble.
Maybe. I've not done one since, year 8? A while ago. So we'll give it a go. But I'm also doing some other things as testers for cooking for Christmas, so we'll see how it goes.
Wait. I need to do one of these as well. Hey guys, it's Laz Priest. I am back in my kitchen for yet another Great Britannia Bake Off. Heartwarming edition. Chrysler, if you will.
Merry Chrysler!
I'm excited for this year because despite participating and editing every single Bake Off for the last few years, I am yet to win any sort of award. It's a crying shame. It really is. It's very upsetting, really. Deep sense of trauma for me. But alas, we move. Usually we go down the pony route anyway, but this year, considering we're so close to Heartwarming, I thought, why not mix the two up? Why not mash together? And I had a thought about Christmas puddings, you know, Chancellor Puddinghead, that kind of vibe. But unfortunately, I do not like Christmas puddings because there's things in it that make my brain go bleh, upsetting. So I thought, what do I actually like to eat? Love brownies, love them, huge fan of their work. Just chocolate in general, I like it. So I am gonna take this cupcake tin, this wobbly cupcake tin, and mould my brownies in such a way to form a little Christmas pudding shape. So I'm making fake Christmas puddings that are actually brownies because I'm a liar and I'm also autistic, so Christmas puddings make me sad. You know, just like the wee Christmas puds that you get from the shop, like individual ones. I want them to have that kind of shape, but then I'm going to decorate them with some lovely little bits of holly and poinsettia leaves so they actually give the effect of a Christmas pudding. I'm going to put a little bit of icing sugar on it. They're going to be really yummy, and I'm following a really yummy recipe, so it's going to be so chocolatey, so sweet. I will probably only be able to eat one of these. Let's see what happens.
So first, I'll need to measure out my ingredients. Let's see, according to this here, I know I need to turn on the oven first. And then we can weigh butter.
Smooth like butter!
So, the one thing I didn't look at.
2 minutes later.
Now I have my butter.
Butter!
We can weigh out 175 grams of butter and 175 grams of caster sugar. And we can put that into a mixing bowl. So, sugar first so it doesn't stick. And that's too much. So people can see what I'm doing. It's more interesting if you can see. 175 in a bowl. Same spoon will do, and it was 175 of this as well. So, all going smoothly. These will make nice spongy cakes, and then we'll ice the butter, butter icing, and then go in the fridge for a bit. Well, no, the freezer, we'll freeze them. That might make the process slightly faster. From there, we'll be making batter, and then we'll deep fry them and hope for the best. Because at the moment, we're hoping for the best that these cupcakes turn out cake-like at all, and not just burnt husks. Because while I will eat the burnt husks, I don't think I'll enjoy them quite as much. So, let's see how that goes. Use an electric whisk or stand mixer to beat the butter and sugar. Well, because the butter is cold, that would just cause it to throw around a bit. So we're going to get a spoon and do it properly first, and then we can use the mixer to mix it more thoroughly. That sounds like a plan. We can come back when it's more ready.
Always found that even with self-raising flour, An extra teaspoon of baking powder never goes amiss. The last thing you want is a sunken cake. Nearly there. 75. A little bit more. Too much. Emergency. Unsugar the sugar. Oh, hey, wow. Okay, perfect. That is the sugar. We have here 225. That is too much butter. Butter! An egg, 2 eggs. And 3 eggs. Perfect. Goes up nicely. That should be good. Perfect. That is a lot more ground almond than I thought it was going to be in here. Ground almonds. I actually think this is going to be about right. Not far off, actually.
Because I am a little bit strapped for time today, I have already pre-measured everything into wee little bowls, so let's go. Let's crack on. Making egg puns before it's egg time, so what am I doing? So first of all, what I need to do according to the recipe is melt my butter and my dark chocolate together, and I'm going to do that over the stove. So I have boiled my kettle. Let's pop it in the pan. Don't look too closely at my pans, I swear they're clean. So we're just going to pop that on a low heat. This has already been boiled as well. And you don't want to fill the pan up too much because we don't want the bowl or the little plate to actually touch the water. We just want it to sit nicely on the top. Now I have here 185 grams of butter. I'm going to cube this and pop it on the plate shortly. And I'm going to mix in my dark chocolate. I have got Bourneville chocolate. I'm not the biggest dark chocolate fan, but Bourneville's okay. I can live with this. This equates to an entire bar of Bourneville. By the way, a big chocolate bar. This is 185 grams as well. Plonk my cubes in. There they are. And pop my chocolate in as well. Then I'm just going to mix this on a very low heat until they combine together to make a lovely little paste. I think the chocolate's going to take a minute longer than the butter for sure. This has been out for a while. Now I'm going to try not to overmix this because I've done this before and the chocolate starts to go really gross and horrible, so I really don't want that. It's like microwaving chocolate. You take your life into your hands, honestly. It's such a risky move, so the hob it is. I just realised this jumper is probably not the best idea for baking over an open flame. This low-key smells so yummy. I wish to eat it right now. Does anyone else just really like butter and sugar mixed together? I think that's one of my favourite parts of baking in general, just making cupcakes and stuff. I love that so much. That's looking pretty good. Let's just get the lumps out, shall we? I think that is practically done, guys. There's no more little bits of butter in here. All of the chocolate has melted very nicely. So I'm just going to switch that off and I'm going to pop it to the side to cool.
Now to me, this is the consistency of light and fluffy. Chef Cédric isn't arguing, so I think we're in the clear. Now I can add 3 eggs, one at a time, until the bag is lovely and light, which I assume is something similar to light and fluffy. Time will tell. That can know what I'm doing. Nice 3 range eggs at time. Never found a range egg, so I had to pay for these. Oh, 3rd egg. Now for the next step, which I'm sure will come again as no surprise to anyone. I hadn't looked out. It is now looked out. I need 2 tablespoons of milk. Measuring thing. Tablespoons 2. Stir these in. Once again, no critique from Chef Cédric. So we'll call it a win. Though it is quite runny looking, but we haven't added any of the dry ingredients yet, so we're probably in the clear for that. It's been a while since I've done anything like this. I've eaten plenty, don't get me wrong, but it's been a while since I've actually made it. There we go, so that is now looking very runny and battery, but that's probably fine. Time will tell. It can only go sideways.
Okay, everything has been assembled. We have our self-raising flour, 225 grams of that. I've added a little bit of extra baking powder just to give it a little boost. 175 grams of light brown sugar, 175 of butter, 3 eggs, beaten. We have, I think it's 75 grams of ground almond. Yeah, 75, that's right. 3 tablespoons of marmalade, 2 tablespoons of whiskey. Always nice. 45 grams, I think it was, or 75 grams of glassy cherries. And a nice big spoonful of mixed spice. We also have our raisins as well. That's basically how much I needed, so I didn't bother taking them out of the packet. So that's everything. Let's do it.
So I have my apples here. You know, kind of need them for an apple crumble. And I'm going to peel them, but it's going to be really dull to watch. So I'm hoping if I just go, then the next one will be them all peeled. So 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Done the apples. Now to do some measuring. But no one needs to see that, do they?
It is actually getting too dark to film already, I'm fuming. The heck? Daylight savings! I forgot to get something out of my cupboard. My rich man mixer that my friends bought me some time ago. Because I cannot afford.
Unveil it.
I don't know what it is. What is it? Oh!
How does it feel to be in the 1%?
You can tell I've not baked in some time because this has just been left in the cupboard and replaced with a ton of stuff. Why? The amount of tea lights. Why? There's like actually too much wax in this mixing bowl. I don't think I'm going to be able to use it just now. The amount of wax on the side of the bowl is so upsetting. What on earth has happened? I need to have a word with my housemates, aka my family.
So now we need to weigh 175 grams of self-raising flour and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So I have vanilla, I have measuring thing, teaspoon, 1, there you go. This basically seems to keep things roughly the same, so that you'd think that would make it easier. Or at least easier to remember, perhaps. But so far, no luck. However, if it turns out well, then, you know, maybe I will try to remember it. You know, for all those baking things that I do. You do not want to use electric power here. I shall not use electric power. I shall just mix it in. Didn't say anything about doing anything special, so we've just mixed it in. Yes, this definitely looks like batter. Becoming more batter-like the more we mix. It's thickening nicely, it's going smooth. Yes. An extra step that I'm going to add will be some colouring. Because while we could have plain ones, where's the fun in that? So we're going to make them pink after a certain well-known Pegasus. See if you can guess which one before I add decorations later. And I'll add the colour now. This is the one. Let's see. So, let's add some of this. Don't know how pink that will make it, but we'll try that first, and if we wanted more pink we can add more. We can't take pink away. Of course it'll never come out the same in the oven, but you can probably add more pink than that. Yes. There we go, we've doubled it. In theory, I suppose you could also use red, but use less red, so that it's in a pinkier red. However, if you're using the gels, which is what I think this is, rather than the pouring liquid, then that waters it down, because I have tried that. We don't bring up Charmander cake. It was very sad. These are mostly pink batter. We'll get that put in the cupcake cases and then in the oven. Alright, let's get this party started. So, yeah. It recommends a food processor. I don't have one of those.
This isn't mine. I'm just borrowing it. Because if it was mine, I would be rich.
No food mixers in this house.
Oh, I'm sorry, does it look like I'm rich?
Sugar and the butter and the application of good old elbow grease. And now I get the unenviable pleasure of beating this myself. That is why you always soften your butter. Otherwise, a nightmare.
2 hours later.
It's going everywhere.
Who needs a food processor?
Who needs a food processor? We're almost there. Just give me a few minutes. I'll get this sorted.
3 days later.
I don't need arm day after this. I'm gonna look at bull biceps by the time I finish this. Yeah! Oh! Yeah.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Alright. It's done. It's beaten. Or has it beaten me? I'm not quite sure.
Apple's starting to brown, which is always a fantastic sign. Now I just need to add 2 of these, and this is going to go everywhere. I can try and do it with one hand. Now, I kind of tasted these and they taste a little bit tart, so I'm just going to do a little extra half. So much sugar, and then I just need to get them coated and then chuck them in a bowl. Yummy.
So the next step it's telling me to do is lining the base. Now I'm not going to be doing that because I'm not making square brownies like in a tin. I'm going to be doing them in the wee cake tins, little cupcake tins, to make them more rounded and pudding shaped. So what we are going to do is start mixing our cocoa powder and our flour together in this here bowl. So I've already measured out 85 grams of flour and 40 grams of cocoa powder. I don't feel like this is enough, but the recipe says so, so I'm going to trust it for now. So I'm just going to sieve these in. Make sure there's no lumpy lumps. Hey look, it's snowing! So it must be Christmas. Cocoa powder smells incredible. I want like 10 hot chocolates right now. So we're just going to set this bowl to the side. Everything is sieved into here, and we're going to chop up our milk chocolate and our white chocolate as well. It doesn't really say how small I need to chop these, so we're just going to wing it really. I'm assuming quite small because this is going to go into like the runny mixture, so I'm assuming it needs to be nice and little. I've left the chocolate out for quite some time as well, so it's quite nice and soft, which is good. I have little hands. I'm not the biggest fan of white chocolate either. It's very, very sweet, but this is really nostalgic chocolate. This is a milky bar, so I think I can live. Also, I bought way too much chocolate, so I have a ton of chocolate left over now. What a shame. I'm sure I'll survive. So I've chopped them quite finely actually. I think that's quite good. Chocolate. So I'm going to set these aside with everything else, and we're going to get to our mixer. We're going to be mixing the sugar and the eggs together. We've got 3 eggs and around 275 grams of caster sugar, which is insane. I'm going to be wired, and the recipe calls for it to have a sort of milk shaky kind of texture once it's done, like really nice and thick. So I think I'm going to be mixing it for probably around 5 to 8 minutes. It's a good thing I edit this myself because that's going to be boring to watch. My rich mixer that apparently was quite cheap actually, so I don't know what this whole joke has been about the whole time, so sorry guys. We need 3 large eggies to go into this bowl, and apparently we don't need to separate them, which is great because that is my worst nightmare. I hate handling eggs. Disgusting. Disgusting! Manifesting no shells. Vile. I love eating eggs. I'm a huge fan of eggs. I really am, but I just hate raw eggs with every fibre of my being. It makes my brain angry. That was pretty darn good. I keep like intermittently going to the sink to wash stuff, and my sleeves are so wet. This is not the right jumper for the day, guys. And this is my sugar bowl, so we're just going to pop that in. It doesn't say it needs to be done gradually either. I've made this mistake many a time, Bex will tell you. But it just needs to be mixed, guys. It just needs to be mixed.
So while that's cooking, some dishes have been done. We will now make the butter icing. Buttercream, they're calling it. So 125 grams of butter with 250 grams of icing sugar. That's a lot of icing sugar. 250 it says. There we are. There. Probably too much. Oh, no, that's good. What is it? Spoon! We're going to make this blue. That's another clue. Blues, clues, blues, clues. Right. This could take some time.
Right. Next, the marmalade. And then the eggs. Let's get this sorted. Only the best marmalade, by the way, guys. Bon Maman marmalade. I mean, come on. This is a posh cake. Mix that through. Really wishing I had a food processor. And then the eggs. You don't want to add your eggs too quickly. Otherwise, you can curdle your entire mixture. And this is why you've got to start being... Ooh. This is why you've got to start being careful. A bit more. Probably the strangest part of cake making. I often wonder, how on earth did they figure it out? Now, who looked at sugar and butter and eggs and flour and thought to himself, yes, let's mix that all together in a very specific way, or in several different very specific ways. Depends on the cake you're making, but it worked. Now we have cake, and I am forever grateful. But the world without cake is a world without fun. One last bit of egg, and then we can move on. It's definitely crying out for the flour now. Very close to being, yes, soupy, that is. Appropriate, very soupy.
I reckon we've got quite a milkshakery texture here. This does just look like a vanilla milkshake right now, kind of banging. And now what I need to do is pour the chocolatey mixture that I melted before into this eggy wet mixture here. And it does say it needs to be folded in with a rubber spatula, which is something that I don't have. I don't know who these recipes think I am, but I'm definitely not the person they think I am. Who's got a rubber spatula in their house? Not Laz. And what a shame the excess will just get eaten. That's incredible. And like I say, I'm not really a dark chocolate guy, but that worked. So yeah, I'm just gonna fold it in using this spoon. Really, I don't know what difference it's gonna make. Maybe it'll make or break the entire bake. But I'm not about to get in my Fiat Panda right now and go out and buy a rubber spatula. You can get lost. I would like to eat it. It just looks like pudding right now, you know. I just want to stick my face in it a little bit. So now that that has been properly folded in, it looks a lovely chocolatey mousse colour. I really want to eat this right now. But I cannot, because we have another step to do, my goodness. So what we're going to do now is take the flour and the cocoa powder that we sieved out before and fold it into this mixture here. So we're combining the wet and dry mixtures. Have I ever told you guys my theory about wet and dry drinks? It's a doozy. Dry drinks are things like hot coffee. And then when you've got iced coffee, that in turn becomes a wet drink because it hydrates you more. Scientifically, it doesn't hydrate you more because you're still getting fluids with an actual hot coffee. But like an icy water or an icy juice or a Coke or something like that, that is a wet drink. Iced coffee, wet drink. Lemonade, wet drink. Tea, coffee, hot tea and coffee mind. Hot chocolate, dry drinks. And then you've got the additional fun drink like a milkshake or a smoothie or something like that. Because they're neither really wet or dry, they're just for a little bit of fun. That literally just tastes like mousse. Like really sugary mousse. I can still taste like the granules of sugar. That's insane. Oh god. I'm doing a great job today. So now this is going to be interesting. This is already going everywhere and I've barely even started. Clumsy little Laz. I've spilt so much on the side here already. This is no fun.
Sometime later, it's starting to get harder to mix. Much harder to mix. All of a sudden. It's definitely buttery. I'll say that for it. I think that's probably ready. 2 tablespoons of milk, one at a time. Give it a good minute or 2 of beating each time. Alright, I suppose. That's one. I'm expected to beat this for a minute. I don't think it'll last that long. A minute is a long time. You know, like eating these cakes. That won't take anywhere near this long. Let's add our next one. Probably a little bit too much. Alright, what's next? Put it in a piping bag. You can use a nozzle or no nozzle. Blah blah blah. We can't do much now until the cakes are ready, except colour the icing. Like I said, blue. Blue. But I suppose, because it's a yellowy butter mixture, it has gone sort of a minty colour, which, you know, no problem with that if that's the colour you're going for. But I need a darker shade of blue. Although, I don't think it's going to get much more blue no matter how much blue I add. So this blue will have to do. So this is blue. We'll see how that looks in a little bit.
The flour, the almonds and the spice. So, almonds first, boop. Our spoonful of mixed spice, and then our pre-sifted flour. Like I said earlier, you don't want lumps in your flour, because then you get lumpy batter, and then you get a lumpy cake. Start mixing that in, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. Ooh, words are hard. Want the rest of that in now. Perfect! think this flower is trying to escape. That is the mistiest flower I've seen in a while. It's creating its own fog system. That is our batter almost ready.
So I need to use my bigger ones for something else later. So I've just got my little diddy ones and I'll make 2 small ones. So I just need to put that in there. And then we'll move on to the crumb. Now I've combined stuff into a bowl, which is flour, golden castor and this. And then I need to mix it up. And then I have to do my least favourite thing and put the butter in. And then I've got to do my hands to create little crumbs. I hate doing that.
I'm just like consistently cleaning. I've got to clean as I go. Okay, so it says once again to gently fold in this wet and dry mixture together. It says it should kind of create a fudgy consistency, which I'm very excited about. I'm excited about this because I have honestly never made brownies in my entire life. I consume them very frequently when I can. But no, I have never, ever in my life made them. Glasses are too big as well, they keep falling off my face. I'm really not dressed for bake today. My jumper's too big, my hair's flying all over the shop and my glasses keep falling off. This is great. I am a grown-up. It's got a bit of give to it this now. So I'm mixing so many things together, it's getting really thick and fudgy. It is getting fudgy, but there's a few little remnants I need to mix in first before we're done. It's kind of got a sourdough consistency to it. It's giving sourdough start, but brown. I'm half Irish, guys. Come on, I know exactly what I'm doing. Especially with bread. Chocolate bread, question mark. I don't know. It'd be grand, I'm sure. It's heavy, my goodness. This is my workout for the year, by the way. I do not do the gym. My yearly workout is mixing and folding in my great Britannia bake-off entry. So it does actually say to stop before you think you should, because we don't want to overmix this. And I think that this is pretty well folded. It is really thick. It is really fudgy and kind of gunky. It looks amazing. I want 10. I would honestly just eat this mixture. This is impeccable.
Alright, so I don't have to wait nearly as long as I thought I did. That's the cupcakes apparently ready. They have turned out not too bad. But we'll check them first. And if they come out clean, then we know they're ready. Now let's try the ones at the front. Yes, now we need to let these cool. So they can sit there for a minute or two until they've cooled down some more. And then we'll take them out of the tray and let them cool more. So far, so good.
One vigorous mixing later. Lovely. The fruit and the whiskey. Because it wouldn't be Scottish if it didn't have whiskey in it.
Nationality, the most Scottish?
The fruit goes in. And then I just need to... Oh, come here you. Quickly chop these in half. Or quarters, however you want. Add those in. Want it to be nice and fruity, but not too chunky. Trying to do this as quickly as possible, but they are very sticky. And in with you. Perfect. And now, the final touch. Our little addition of whiskey. Only the best. Mix it on up. Now that is looking like a proper cake batter. Delightful. To the cake tin. One pre-lined and greased cake tin. See, I am prepared sometimes. And then we just want the whole lot into the tin. Give the bowl a little scrape, but not too good of a scrape, because the best thing about baking cakes is licking out the cake bowl after you're finished. Yes, hello! We have a noisy companion in the kitchen today.
So now that the wet and dry mixtures have been folded in together, we're going to pop in the chocolate chunks that I cut up earlier. And it just says to mix these in until they're dotted around the mixture, so I don't think they really need to be that well folded in, just until they're evenly distributed really around. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Because those chocolate chunks are gonna melt so nicely into the actual brownies. I'm so thrilled. I really hope the shape of these comes out well because I'm actually gonna cry if they don't. If this fails, I'm genuinely gonna be so upset. Looking back at previous bakes, this is definitely my more experimental of the other 5, 6 maybe that I've done in the past. I just make so many cupcakes, so this is new. You know what? I think that's good. Even distribution of chocolate chunks. I'm gonna have to fill this special cupcake casing with that. This is gonna be so messy and they're gonna be really difficult to get out as well. Let's have a go. It can only go wrong. Sure. You know what I wish I had right now? I really wish I had one of those ice cream scoops. I think that'd do really nicely right now if I could just scoop them into the little casings. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. It is literally just so thick. This is gonna be horrendously messy. I feel like they're just gonna stick as well because I don't have any casings for them, like cupcake cases, because I don't want cupcakes. I don't want the shape of cupcakes. I just want the shape of the mold. This is a travesty. I don't want to overfill them still, even though I've not used self-raising flour. I really don't want to overfill them at all. I have no idea how these are going to turn out. I don't even know whether they're going to be able to come out of the mold. The oven's on 180. 25 minutes. Let's do it, you know. I'm scared. I've had this idea in my head for a good couple of weeks now, and if this doesn't work out, I think this will be the end of me. This may be the last you see of little Laz. I'm just gonna stand here now and eat my mixture because I'm scared. Well, if the shape doesn't turn out right, they're definitely gonna taste nice because this is melting. It's so nice. I feel like a kid again, just literally eating mixture out of the bowl.
Alrighty, so now that these have had a chance to cool, I'm going to fill this with the icing. Then I'll use a yet other spoon to cut out holes in these, so that I can fill it up, I guess. This is not the easiest thing ever. Give it a little shake to get it down there further. There we go. So that is now done. So I'm going to set 6 of these aside. They will all be decorated the same way, but 6 of them will be getting deep fried. So they're one aside. And so the smaller ones, in theory, will go aside, and these ones will get decorated just now. So let's see if this works. There we are. Pop that there. Okay, there we go. Yes. Now a knife. No! Cut. Where do these go on? What makes wings? Is that like wings? Oh, that doesn't look right at all. However, there are several more with which to attempt the same thing. So that's what we'll try. Bit more icing on this one. That looks better. Is that better? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what would make it more wing-like, and I can't. I wonder if there's a picture on here. Haha! How does that work? It doesn't matter. I guess that's sort of wing-like. I don't know. Yes, that looks like wings. Right. Now, glue, I think. Ever so slightly. I'm going to dust these with sugar. Because once again, it's not necessarily a bad thing having it, but I want to try and do this. I'm not an artist in any way, shape or form. I'll take that. Well, that's not too bad. It's little details that won't really make any, well, not too much difference, but I'm happier putting these on, because that way I can say I know who this is meant to be, even if nobody else does. They are close enough for me that it's not too bad. Icing sugar to decorate. A little shake. Pegasus has gone through some clouds. Sounds plausible. Here we go, they don't look too shabby. So behold, these ones, I'm saying, are ready. So this is Firefly from Generation 1 with her lightning bolt cutie marks. Pink and blue is her colour theme. There we go. I'm quite happy with those. I'll now make another 6 and then I'll have to make batter to deep fry those. Let's get on with that, shall we?
That is us good. Just make sure that that is leveled out and pushed into the corners. And there we are. One cake ready for baking. We have already preheated our oven, so that can go in. Lovely stuff. And that has to cook for 1.5 hours. So I'll see you guys in a little bit, I guess. I was premature. There was one last step of the recipe, and that is the ground almonds on top. This is supposed to be some sort of intricate pattern, but I'm just gonna go for whatever feels good in the moment. But oh no, it's fine. So the picture in the recipe area had this intricate pattern of delicately placed almonds in a concentric outward going thing that looked really pretty. I unfortunately am not quite as well versed in such matters, so this is what is occurring now. So I think that's good. Maybe a couple around the edge just to make it look a bit more pretty around the edges. These will find a settle point once the mixture starts to level out in the oven. There we go. That doesn't look too bad. This time, back in the oven for real. And I will see you all in an hour and a half.
Okay, as before I've got this. Now sleeves are up, has been washed, nails have been trimmed back because I do not want that feeling. Now, listen to this and begin to knead. And it's horrible. I do not like this texture. I'll come back to you when I've done a bit more.
So the ring lights had to come out because, you know, it's 5 p.m. But the browns have emerged from the oven. They absolutely have risen a little bit, nowhere near as much as I thought, which is great. We didn't use self-raising flour, like I say, so we're winning. They are all very mismatchy, a little bit misshapen maybe, you know, because I need to turn them over for them to have the right shape, so I might need to cut the bottoms of them just to make sure they're all even, you know, gotta play it out. This now is where it's going to get really messy because I don't think the tops of them, i.e. the bottoms of the actual mould, are going to have taken very well. I did try and push all of the mixture into every crevice, you know, but I don't know. I don't know whether the mould's going to work all that well. Okay, so that one has just sort of fallen to pieces in my hands. You can't really see from my jumper, but yeah. Okay, that one's a wee bit better. They're not as high as maybe I'd have hoped. You know the shape that I'm trying to go for, you know the vibe. They're definitely brownies though, and they smell incredible. They could be higher, but the mould isn't that deep. So I think that's the mould's fault, in all honesty, not mine. I don't think the bottoms of them need to be cut actually, because once they are on the plate, they do kind of squash quite nicely, if that makes sense. Okay, so honestly, they could be a lot worse shape-wise. I'm quite happy with some of them. Some of them have risen quite nicely into the mould, so I'm not going to complain. They're a little bit crumbly, but brownies are a lot of the time, especially considering I've done a 180 on all of them. I've just turned all of them upside down. So now I'm going to let those cool for a little bit longer, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw some icing sugar on them, and then I'm going to decorate them with my little hollies and poinsettia leaves. This is exciting.
So first of all, we need to turn on the fryer, let that heat up to temperature. A large bowl, whisk the eggs and milk together. Eggs and milk. 1 1/3 cups of milk. So I have a new measuring beaker here. I should really do the flour first. That's 2.5 cups. This is going to make far too much batter. So I wonder if I could have it. It can only not work. In a separate bowl, combining flour, sugar, salt and baking powder. Well, I'm halfway there, I guess. Slowly add the dry mixture to the egg mixture, beating until the batter is smooth with minimal lumps. Consistency should be thin enough to coat and thick enough to stick. Well, we know this is going to be thick enough to stick, don't we? It's probably better being a wee bit thicker anyway. Who wants a runny batter? Alright, so now we just have to wait for the cakes to chill properly and for this to continue heating up. Neither of them are quite there yet. Give it a few.
Okay, time to test it. It's not quite the time that it says on the recipe, but our oven tends to be more on the ferocious side. So we have learned to err on the side of caution. Let's give this a little poke test. Oh, it's looking pretty cooked. Yeah, I think that's done. Yep, that's done. That's finished. Wow. Okay. Thank you, oven. Be careful around hot tins. They tend to burn. We'll just leave that there for 10 minutes or so, just to cool in the tin a little bit, and then we will take it out and see what we have. I think I've actually worked out why it didn't take quite as long to cook, because it's only been in the oven for an hour and a quarter, and it said an hour and a half to 2 hours on the recipe. But I think the tin I used is slightly bigger than what it should have been. So instead of a deep cake, I've got a wide cake, and that's why it's taken less time to cook. So that'll be a lesson to you. I think we are good to go. That's cooled down nicely now. That is one awesome looking cake. And now I need to do a little flip. Perfect. Hey. One Dundee cake.
Okay, so I've got the crumbs. I need to put them on the top and then they go in the oven. But I'm going to put some sugar on top as well. Very sorry, I'm such low energy. It's been a day. But then I'll get them in. Yeah, I'll do a run over of what they look like before I put them in. Yeah, and then I need to start on dinner and the other thing I need to make. So busy cooking day. So these are them pre-oven. And then they'll go in and then they'll cook for a certain amount of time that I need to double check. But yeah, woohoo. Woohoo.
It looks so nice outside. Some people have already got little lights out, which is really lovely. Icing sugar is usually my enemy as well. It just goes absolutely everywhere. So let's see. Ah, Christmas! Oh my goodness. Look how cute they are. Ah! This jumper is just full of flour and icing sugar. My goodness. I've got 12 of these. Okay. And luckily I have 12 of these as well. So I'm just going to do alternate decorations. I've got the poinsettias and I've also got the holly leaves as well. These are gonna look so cute. These are literally so cute as well. They're so dainty. I'm like scared of destroying them. They're so small, but how cute. And they're like a little bit glittery as well, which is so much fun. Yo, these are actually so cute. I'm gonna have to get so many people to eat these. There's no way I can eat all of these myself. They're so cute looking, man. The look of them is fine. It's just the taste of them now. Hopefully they'll be fine. God, I wish I had friends to share these with right now. I wish I had friends. Now, you guys know me. I'm very whimsical, very glittery person. So we've got to put some Christmas magic onto these little guys. I have got some edible gold glitter. So we're just gonna spritz a little bit on here. You do not need a lot of this, okay? I know that sounds very counterproductive coming from me because I just spray glitter on absolutely everything. If you know, you know. But so much of this actually comes out at one time and I'm going to be covered in this now for the rest of the day. They are so cute! Ah, look at my children. I burst them. There's just flecks of glitter like flying all around the kitchen now. My mum's gonna kill me. Gets in your mouth. It's actually glitter just like flying everywhere. I love it. I'm literally covered in it. I can't move for the glitter. And it's too cold to open the windows to let it out. I'm trapped.
You're trapped.
So, what we're going to do, once that stops ticking, is we'll get the cupcakes. We will try one with this batter, and if it's too thick, we can add the milk. We will take our first wonky misshapen cupcake, which has been chilling for maybe 30 to 40 minutes. Pop that in there. That does just sit on top of it, so it is a bit thick. We will attempt it. We'll attempt it anyway. We will drop this in. Well, place in gently. There we go. So we are going to need more milk. Oh yeah, that's much better. So we won't need to stir it anymore because that's just where we're going to leave it. Well, you wouldn't know it was a cupcake, I'll tell you that much. So hopefully the next one will work a little bit better because this one I think is about to be quite well done. It's golden brown certainly. I'll give it an extra minute. That doesn't look too bad if we're being honest. Definitely deep fried. There you go. Yeah, that works better. Just scoop the batter on top and it can flow off the side so all the excess disappears. Yeah. If you're going to try this at home, that's the way to do it. We're getting the hang of this. Yeah, that one's definitely well done. So that was the trial. Thank goodness we have several more to play with. Alrighty. Well, this is not too bad. The icing is starting to seep out of this one slightly. There we go, look at that. That looks alright, doesn't it? I wouldn't advise doing this though if you've not got time. So, we will transfer these onto this plate. They will get a dusting of sugar to make them look kind of pretty. Or dusting. There we are. Oh. Doesn't that look nice? They look like giant profiteroles. And there we go. That's our deep fried cupcakes. They look a bit of alright.
Hey guys, we're back here again. Turned out alright, I think. Not bad at all. Not actually had Dundee cake before, so this is going to be interesting to try. I'm a big fan of Christmas cake, so, you know, Dundee cake is apparently Scotland's kind of version of Christmas cake. I'm sure Keyphob will, you know, beat the truth into me at some point regarding that. I've probably got it all wrong, but cheese and tea, suitable accompaniments for such a cake. So we're going to give it a try and see what it's actually like. Actually, the house has been smelling amazing for the last hour, so, you know, I'm very enthusiastic about it. Oh yes. That is fantastic. Come here, cake. Yeah. Yeah, that's brilliant. If I do say so myself, guys, that is fantastic. Thoroughly recommend.
So, which one do you want, Sam? Do you want the one that's more sugary or the one that's kind of normal?
More sugary.
Ooh, it's all soft and gooey. I'm crimbling your crumble.
Crumble, crumble.
Do you have vanilla ice cream still, or did you eat it?
I ate it.
That enough crumble?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello, Sam. How does it feel to be my official taste tester?
Like I'm living life dangerously.
I'm a good cook.
Very nice.
What's your opinions?
I will happily eat all of it. Thank you very much.
Out of 10? Thank you.
Look at them, they're so cute. Some of them have risen quite well and folded into the molds quite well, like that one on the front there, and some of these as well, but some of them are a little bit crumbly. But look, they're so pretty. I just think that putting glitter on anything makes it look so much better. I'm a huge believer in that. I should eat one. I should taste test one, because what if they taste awful but look amazing? That's not a fair judgment, is it? I think I'll take one of the more misshapen ones and have a go of this. There's a good bit of chocolate in this as well, I can see already, so let's go. That is so good, guys. What the actual heck? Yo, they are like really crispy on the outside and the gooiness is magnificent inside. Oh my god. That is the best thing I've ever made. I do not bake often. You guys know this. This is like an annual occurrence for me. My goodness. They have baked really well and they look so pretty. I think I've actually nailed it for the first time ever. Lads, I have absolutely annihilated this. This is the best thing I've ever done. I'm a genius. Guys, what can I say? Highly recommend, guys, making Christmas pudding shaped brownies if you don't like Christmas pudding. Yeah, you guys should do that. These are great alternatives. I'm a huge fan of those. I would definitely get a better cake tin to put them in, maybe one that's a little bit deeper so they have more of a shape to them, but they taste fantastic and they look really heckin' cute. So I win, question mark. There we have it, guys. Chancellor Puddinghead's not Christmas pudding brownies. Yeah. I'm gonna stick with that name. Coined it. Done. Okie dokie, Loki. Praying to the horse gods, guys, for some kind of win today, you know? Now to get all of this glitter out of my kitchen. Not gonna happen. Thanks, guys.
So for the taste test, I'm gonna have the normal cupcake first. I think that's turned out alright. I'm certainly going to eat all of it. I quite like it, but then cake. So as we expected, the butter icing has melted. There we go, look. Actually, of the two, it is quite nice deep fried. That is actually really quite nice. I would definitely suggest to anybody to try it. It is worth the hassle. I will probably do it again. Grand. Catch you later.
Are you going to smile? Are you going to wish everyone a lovely festive season?
I wish everyone a lovely festive season.
Happy heartwarming!
Yay!